Hey guys, what's up? My name is Liron and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you my English learning process and how I study and practice English at home. So maybe you don't live in an English speaking country, maybe you don't have anyone to talk to in English, or maybe you just whenever it comes to watching TV shows or reading books in English, you kind of understand everything, but once you are trying to communicate with somebody, suddenly all the words just disappear and you have nothing, like you forget everything suddenly, right? So in this video I'm going to share with you my 2 cents about how I practice and study English at home, and this is kind of for free, so yeah, stick with this video. Alright, so here's a little backstory about myself. As a student I was really bad at English. I remember always mixing the words with the Russian alphabet. I'll give you an example. If you take the letter P in the English alphabet, it's actually pronounced as R, and the letter H is actually pronounced as M, which is, right now, today, I kind of get used to it. Already automatically able to distinguish between them and read like pretty freely without getting stuck on it. But at the time, as it was something new to me, and trying to read this was actually making it a lot harder for me. And I wasn't really practicing or studying English at the time, and mainly because it was something I didn't want to. I just hated it, studying grammar, trying to read books. It wasn't for me. But then I made a switch. Alright, so I remember reading an article back in the day that said you need to read it, write it, hear it, and speak it to learn a language. And if you only do part of those steps, if you only read something or watch and hear movies in English, you won't be progressing in your studying as much as you can. So it made sense to me, and I thought to myself, all those steps are actually stimulating my brain in a different kind of way. For instance, reading something, I will get information, but then if I will write it, my brain will actually try to put this information out and use this information, which is really great because it goes also with speaking and hearing. So this is kind of a main reason why you can actually hear something when you watch a TV show, and you actually can read something in English and you understand everything completely, but once you are trying to use the information, you get stuck because you are not used to. I don't think this is a lack of knowledge, because you already know that you can understand everything, right? But you don't have the experience to use the information, to recall the information out of your brain and use the information to make sentences or write something. Alright, so there is actually a really good book about learning that I actually personally recommend you reading. It's called Make It Stick, if you already heard about it. It's a pretty popular book. And it talks about a lot of the things about how to study things, and it did a lot of research on this topic, and I actually used the information for my English studying and from my university academic studying as well. I really recommend reading this book, and one of the main ideas of this book is that to learn something you need to recall information, as to just simply try and memorizing it, because it shows through different research that if you are memorizing, in the long run you will forget everything that you actually try to learn. And if you are just trying to recall even a little of what you're trying to learn, you will show a significant improvement in how you are actually studying stuff, and you will remember more things, because our brain works in a way that if you want to learn something, our brain will actually remember things that are actually important to him, instead of just simply remembering random stuff. So if you are using something, if you're using words, if you're using some kind of information, let's say you are driving somewhere every day, or you are trying to cook a meal and you do the same recipe over and over again, your brain will actually remember it because it has to survive somehow, right? So if you will just imagine, you every time you get into a car you forget how to drive. So this is kind of how the brain works, and it talks about all of those stuffs in the book, and you should really check it out. And I also recommend it to read it in English because you gotta practice your English. Alright, so after reading the article, I decided to take English learning more seriously, and I remember actually starting with surrounding myself with English. So if you haven't done that already, I will advise you to start with it because this is the easiest way to start, and it's actually the best in my opinion to be able to understand and learn new words. Same as a baby, when it's born, it's the first thing it does is it's already surrounded by the language and it hears a lot of things. Eventually it will speak, but at first the baby is going to be more like, just hearing stuff, just getting information. What I did, I was hearing music in English, I was watching TV shows in English, I was reading in English, books or just on the internet, and every time I came across a word that I didn't know, I was going to the dictionary and trying to translate that. You can do that on Google Translate. It's way easier today than it was like 40 years ago. But this is a really good start for you if you want to start building the fundamental base for learning a language. The second thing that I did, and I will advise you, is to start thinking in English. You don't have to be able to be fluent in English to start thinking in English. I mean, when I started thinking in English, what I did, I was actually standing and thinking about the most basic conversation that you can make. I mean, I was saying let's say, for instance, I was thinking about what am I going to eat today, right? So I was saying, I need to go downstairs and eat something, right? So was already a beginning for me to use my information, the information that I hear, the information that I read, into something new, to recall the information, which is really important for you to be able to remember the words that you actually learning in the process. What I will advise you is to speak in front of a mirror as much as you can. Try even record yourself like I do right now, and then rewatch it and try seeing any mistakes that you are making. This is what I'm doing right now because I haven't been speaking in a long time, and I just got back to it, and this is a process for me as well. So this is why am I sharing this video with you, because this is kind of an experiment for me to become better and actually share the way I was able to get to this point. And what I will advise you as well is to start reading, but reading out loud, because when you read out loud, you will actually pronounce words that you usually don't pronounce, meaning you will train your muscles to pronounce the sounds that are really your brain not used to pronounce. And if you're not sure what the correct pronunciation of a word, then you can simply Google it out. Google has this really cool thing where you just type how to pronounce, and then Google will actually give you a record of the correct pronunciation and even tips and advice about how to pronounce it. Also, if you have a native speaking friend, by all means just go talk to them. I mean, they are the best option you will have because they will actually be able to correct you. You will hear the correct accent and the correct way of speaking. instead of just speaking to your friend who is also not native and will actually drag you down, because he will make mistakes and you will hear him and you will think that this is the correct way to speak, which is not, and just not a good idea in my opinion. Also try, and if you have a song that you like but you don't know the words, try learning the words. I mean, this is kind of a good way to there is a thing called shadowing, where you are actually repeating a sentence that is said. Let's say you watch a TV show or you are listening to music and you just repeat what you hear. I actually don't use it. I've heard that this is really helpful for some people, but I don't know, I never use it, but you can try it. You know, what I will also try to tell you is that you will need to pick the correct accent for you. I mean, I don't have an accent, so don't pick me, and by any means don't pick me, but if you are trying to study like the American pronunciation, then listen to American people. Don't confuse yourself with British and Australian people, which they have a different way of pronouncing words. Also, I've seen people who are very concerned about being grammatically correct, and I don't think that being overly focusing about grammar is a good idea, because every time you will try to open your mouth, you will just think about how to pronounce correctly, and all of this overthinking will just make you stuck. So grammar is important, but you gotta be very comfortable talking. And just so you know, a lot of native speakers don't speak grammatically correct as well, so don't get focused on this. Alright, so what I think about English courses is that you probably won't need them if you are just trying to be able to communicate in English, because all you need to do is just be able to express yourself and be understood. But if you are trying to study for a test, let's say, or you have an exam, right? So, and you need to learn vocabulary, then yeah, probably English course will help you, but I won't recommend it if you're just trying to learn how to be fluent. But if you are already fluent and you want to, let's say, help yourself to become, your speech to be more clear, your accent to be more authentic, then yeah, a professional who is also native speaker who can teach you how to be more, to sound more American, let's say, or British or Australian, whatever you choose, then yeah, they will help you. But those voice trainers will be probably really expensive, and there's a lot of free material on the internet, and I don't think that to learn a language you gotta take a lot of courses, because you already know a language. By now you already speak at least one language, then I don't think it's so hard to learn another one. And if you are thinking that this is really hard and this and that, I think that the moment you really start thinking in a certain way, thinking in a specific way, that you are able to learn, because you're thinking positively that it is easy to learn a language. It is not that hard as it may other thing. Because as a teenager, I thought that it is impossible for me to ever learn to be able to speak in English. But eventually I proved myself I'm wrong, and it actually motivates me to study even other stuff and try and see where is the limit. Alright, so this is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully those tips were helpful for you. If you like this video, I will really appreciate if you like and subscribe, and tell me in the comments what you think my next video should be about. And if you have any advices, maybe you are already a native speaker who watching this video and you see my video and maybe you have something to add, I will really appreciate it if you will share your thoughts down in the comment section, and like and subscribe to help my channel grow. And that's it.